There are mistakes that are made by every single Rocket League player, and today we dive into the mistakes of a Platinum player and learn how to fix them. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get right on into it, and we'll see what we got. Learn how to half flip is the first note that I will give. Seems that all of you are at the stage where your mechanics are good enough that you can learn how to half flip to that boost behind you, and then just take it and face forward instead of doing this back flip thing. Not the worst thing that you can be doing, you do still get the same point, but it'd be a little bit smoother if you know how to half flip. I like this touch. This is a little out of control. So one of the things that we'll notice is look at the space that we have here. Like if we take a look at where our opponents are at, this guy is facing this direction, and this guy is also facing this direction. So the only person we're worried about challenging this ball is probably this guy going up. But we have a lot of time with this ball that we don't have to worry about these guys necessarily pushing, because I don't think this last guy is going to be uber eager to jump in. So we don't need to panic with this ball just kind of floating in this direction. Just stay close and be prepared to jump up to it. But what happens is we kind of just keep boosting forward, and we end up in this situation where we're really directly under the ball. So there's not much that we can do to get any kind of decent touch on this, and we just kind of jump out of control. If we're a little bit calmer there, we can just kind of drive forward, have a nice controlled double jump aerial, and go up and get a touch. And in this position, if we actually are able to get this ball over the top of these guys, this net's completely open. So we really just want to stay controlled, go for the double jump aerial, and just poke this ball right over the top by touching it right around this area. Would beat both of these guys, and we'd have an open net. This is great. We land facing the ground. That's perfect. We boosted this boost. That's fine. We pick this up, and we immediately use over half of it to just move back down the field. There is absolutely no rush to get back to our half, right? Like, there's no reason we need to get back to net. There's no shot coming from any of these guys, so we're not overly concerned about defending our goal. What we are concerned about is being in a position that we can support our team. Because if we see where these guys are at, they're both in the same spot. So we want to put ourselves in a position where we can support them wherever this ball goes. Maybe that does end up being back towards net, but that could also be over this way or over this way. So once we pick up this boost, I'd like to see you not burn so much of it to like focus on getting downfield super quickly. So just be careful of rushing to get back when you don't need to. And put yourself in positions where you're kind of driving at a slower pace back towards your half, and that way can make a turn and still be in an aggressive position if you need to be. Allows your teammate to come in. You're sitting in a very good spot. Right here, I'd like to see a little bit of a better touch. So this ball falls to you. This guy who's floating after it, he's not going to be able to immediately recover and get another touch. So you're able to square up to this ball, and then I would like to see you just kind of drive into it and chip it over to the right side, because that's where you'd be able to follow it up. But you kind of end up not turning as far as you need to, or actually you turn too far, and you end up side onto the ball. So now instead of being able to chip it this way and follow it up, you're stuck with taking this awkward like flip sideways that isn't really going to do anything to get the ball out of a dangerous spot. And in this situation where both your teammates are upfield like this, we want to make sure that this guy absolutely does not win this ball. Because the second this guy wins this ball and we're like out of the play over here or something, now they just have a free path to an open net. I like that you're not going yet. You want to make sure that you have your teammate back behind you before you challenge this, so that's very smart. We get a little bit of a chip that's a little awkward, but our teammates didn't recover it. This is a little bit awkward. I think what you can do here is actually take a wider angle. So instead of beelining directly into the corner where the ball is going to be coming straight at you, you could swoop around this way and kind of face the corner along your backboard. And that way, when the ball comes into the corner, you're in a better angle to take a play on it instead of being stuck facing it with no momentum. So if we jump into fly cam here and just kind of take a look at it this way. So if we're, say, here instead of where you are, look at how much easier of an angle it is to play this ball because you gave yourself a wider angle to play it. So look for those opportunities when the ball is coming in your corner to take this wider angle and get the play out this way. So if you're gonna not go for this boost, I like that you pick up these pads. That's fantastic. I would kind of hang out right around here, because any ball that spills out, you want to be able to line up for. You don't want to have it spill out like right next to you. You don't want to have it like have the ball be here and then all of a sudden it jerks in this direction. You can't make a play on that. But if the ball were to spill out right here, now you can adjust to attack it, and it's actually in an area that you have influence over. Instead, you get a little too close, so now when the ball spills out, you just can't make a play on it. Good boost steal, I love that. Good aggressive turn. I don't know if you're trying to shoot this, but what you end up doing is actually perfect, because again, we don't approach this ball with the best angle to actually put a shot on goal, because we do have two defenders coming back. But what we do is approach it with an angle that allows us to maintain possession of the ball. So this is kind of exactly what I mentioned before. You don't get a shot, but you do put it into the corner, where only you can continue to stay on it. So that's very good. We do, unfortunately, boost a little bit too high over the ball, so we can't really continue the pressure into the opponent's corner, but it's a good play all around. When we go for this, we do not need this boost at all. Don't care about this. This is not going to help us get anywhere faster. We want to take a hard turn, straight to the right, and once we're lined up with the boost, we just want to flip forward. And that will get us to the corner boost as fast as possible. Then we can turn upfield and be in the play, or we can turn back to net if we want to play a little bit more passive. Either way, I like this aggressive push. You notice as soon as possible that this ball is kind of loose, so you decide immediately to go for it. One thing I will say is you don't need to jump this early. So you jump really early, which is going to make reading this, it's going to make reading this a little more awkward, and you're committing to what you're going to do. If you stay on the ground longer, you can see exactly where this ball is going to bounce and attack it exactly as you want to. So if we're still on the ground, we can get under this ball and chip it up over these guys, because no one currently is in a position to make a save on this goal. So if we stay on the ground and just like single jump and pop this ball over them, this is going to be a goal. But because we jump early, we end up getting like hitting the ball up here and weirdly using our flip, which just kind of hits the ball down, which allows them to be in position to get the clear. Good try. You could go a little bit faster here. Like right here is when you probably should be jumping. This is really difficult, so I don't blame you for taking a little bit more time. But the more confident you can get with going for these balls quicker, the better it's going to be. Because at the end of the day, you eventually make the right decision of jumping for this. But the problem is you wait so long to know where this is going in order to jump that they're going to beat you before you can make the right decision. You keep going this way a little bit too long, and it's almost as if your brain doesn't realize that the ball is going to be heading back in this direction. So we don't need to be facing this way. We need to be facing this way or like this way. So if you hard drift turn this and we're just facing this way, you can jump for this now. And you can poke it out to the corner without any worry of what it was going to bounce off the wall like. But because we take a little bit too long facing this way, now when the ball does bounce back out this way, we got to turn around some more and then jump. And by that point, we're already beat. I like this. Patient play. This is your ball. So as soon as I see this, so Akam gets him, he flipped, he's picking up this boost, he's going this way. There is absolutely no world that he's turning back on this play. Like, he's out of here. So as soon as I see this, and Woodsy's kind of doing the same thing over here, as soon as I see this, I'm pushing this. I'm not letting them have any free time to get control of this ball, because the only way they're dangerous is if they have control. So I'm going to force them to do something. I don't necessarily need to fling myself at it, right? I can keep my wheels on the ground and just drive challenge them. Drive up, force them to do something, and drive away without ever leaving the ground. But I also don't want to give them a whole half of the field to work with to do whatever they want. So as soon as I see this, I'm going. 60 more boost, I'm challenging this ball. Understandably, we're very tempted to touch this ball. But what good does touching this ball do? Like, are we able to maintain control of this ball if we touch it? Or are we just kind of hitting it away and giving it away to an opponent who might be in an advantageous situation? So it's kind of all about understanding what position are we in. Are we in a position where hitting this ball lightly off the backboard is good or bad? And in this situation, I believe just kind of tapping the ball off this wall is quite bad, because we're all kind of stuck in their net area on very low boost, and they will have a very good chance to go for a counterattack. So in this moment, I don't see anybody pushing me right now. I'm just letting this ball roll. It can come into the corner with me. I don't care. I'm gonna let it roll. I'll catch it if I need to bring it into the corner. I'm picking up this boost, make sure they can't have it, and then I'm continuing the play. Even if I don't get great control on this ball, which is admittedly a little difficult to do, even if I don't get great control, I want to buy my teammates time to be able to get back behind me. So if that means I just let this ball roll into the corner and then I fumble it kind of up the wall, or do something that kind of just leaves it in the corner, that's fine, because these guys then have time to get back behind me. But the last thing I want to do is tap the ball into a place that these guys can just swoop in on and take downfield immediately. Again, though, you have a ton of boost and you burn it all. So you have 100. You use a little bit right here to get this challenge, that's totally fine. We're at 73. You do not need to use boost, because you come down off this wall, you force a move from them, which is great, I love that, but then you burn all of your boost doing absolutely nothing. So now you're back on the defensive half, but you went from 73 boost to 18 to go about yay far. That's all the distance you covered. You didn't use it to make a play. You didn't use it to force the opponents to do anything. You used it to drive halfway down the field away from the play, and now left yourself in kind of a poor situation where you don't have enough to attack, and you also don't have enough to defend. So just be very careful of this boost usage. It is okay to just drive around the field. You don't need to be boosting and going supersonic everywhere you go. You can just drive at normal speed. You can let off the accelerate. You can coast. You can do a whole bunch of things. You don't always have to be moving as fast as possible around the field. So you see, once you get supersonic, you don't need to use boost. So this is all great. The way you're just kind of chilling in this back half, this is perfect. This is exactly what we like to see. You're picking up small pads, that's great. As soon as you decide to move upfield, this is also fine. Get up to supersonic, and then stop boosting. You don't need to keep boosting once you're supersonic. So that's pretty much all fine. You probably burned an extra 10 more than you needed to. But now you keep boosting when you're supersonic, and it's another reason you're going to burn through a lot of your boost. Because once you're supersonic, you're already as fast as you can get, so you don't need to use boost anymore. So just keep an eye on that and make sure you're avoiding using boost when supersonic as often as possible. And now, where's the threat? Like, what are we scared of that we want to use all of our boost to get to the goal right now? Are we scared that this guy's going to shoot the ball right now? No. Is this guy going to shoot the ball right now? No. This guy either has the touch into the corner, or even if he misses, the ball falls, like, right around here, maybe. So, like, we have the net covered. We're not really concerned about anyone scoring. So, again, we can use a little bit of boost, but we just want to kind of coast backwards, control the ball if need be, and be in a position to help our teammate. Once we see that this dude does have the touch to the corner, we don't need to follow him towards it. We can then use that time to take a wide arc, to take the back corner boost, and then swoop into net a little bit later, because there's no rush to get back here. We don't want to get back to the net before we really need to, because if we get back to the net early, our momentum kills, and then we need to use whatever boost we just picked up to get it going again. We want to try to make this one smooth line without any breaks as often as possible. Consider every time you come to a complete stop on the field as a break in your continuous line of movement. And you want to avoid these breaks as often as possible, because this is what's going to slow your movement down. You want to keep it as smooth and consistent as possible, always getting to the spot you need to be right when you need to be there. And that's a skill that comes with a lot of time, but the more use you get to just taking wide turns and not getting to places early, the better your movement will look. Because the second you start to get to places early, you will get beaten out by players who have more momentum than you. You come to this full stop, and now you're just dead with no boost. Luckily, they just kind of tap the ball to you. This is another kind of those moments where you don't need to panic the ball away. So, we come here, this ball, we don't have any boost. We don't really want to just hit this ball forward, because if we hit this ball forward, we're just giving the ball away to these guys. Because this guy's not really going to be able to do much. So, we want to just keep this ball close, bait these guys in. We're on 0 boost, so we're fine to just take a 50. I'll just sit behind this ball and let these guys challenge it all day. Because I can control how this 50 comes out if I'm just sitting behind the ball. It's extremely hard to actually get the ball past somebody who's just sitting behind it. So you don't need to always hit the ball away. When you're on 0 boost, you can keep this ball close, force a 50, and make them do something. We don't ever want to give the opponent the ball for free if we can help it. We want to force them to earn it. If that means them challenging us on 0 boost, that's fine. They're more than welcome to do that. This is fine. I don't mind this patience, just waiting to see what they do. That's great. Nice touch by Woodsy. Again, be careful on the boost usage. Because now you're on 0 again. And you're just kind of in this awkward spot. This positioning, you're perfect where you are. So this is fine. I'm continuing my momentum this way. And this is the difference that it's going to make. So let's say you continue to go this way, right? So then your teammate comes in and gets this challenge into their half. You can then swoop around. And you're on this side of the field. So when the ball bounces across like this, you're there to attack it. Instead of ending up on this side of the field and having to like turn back around to get a shot on the ball. And even where you are is fine. You burned all your boost to do it, but if you could just turn back to net here, like this is fine. Just face the goal because you don't need to worry about being over there because your teammate's over there. He's gonna deal with this ball. You don't need to worry about this ball. You need to worry about where the ball's gonna be. And the ball is gonna, hopefully, be coming back this way. If it ends up in the corner, well then that's fine. Let your teammate who's behind come and deal with it. You don't worry about that. So we want to play for the pass in this situation. So we're waiting to see where this ball goes. We don't need to be where it is now. And the fact is, if we're where we should be, look at where this ball goes. It's absolutely perfect, right? This ball drops right over here. We'd be over here. And that looks like an open net to me. So just be careful about encroaching on where the ball is right now. We don't care about where the ball is right now. We care about where it's going to go. If this guy wants to win this challenge and send the ball this way, we honestly don't care. We'll circle around, we'll grab boost, we'll support our teammate who's going to come in on this challenge. We want to position in a place where we can support our teammates, and we can't really do much to support him from behind him. Careful of this burning a boost again. You get 100, and you burn it all. You literally burn it all to get downfield, and half of this is used while supersonic. You're supersonic right here. You got 44 boost. Stop using it. You're done. You keep 44 boost at least, although you probably could have kept like 70 of this and gotten all the way back downfield, but you're going to use all of it while you're supersonic, and it's going to mean you get downfield on defense with 0. So you can't really do much of anything. So just be very careful about that. And that's game. So that'll just about wrap it up for today's video. Of course, if you guys do enjoy videos like this and other videos that I have produced, please consider clicking that bright red subscribe button right down below this video. It really does help me out a lot more than you guys realize, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys. And of course, if you're looking for some more Rocket League entertainment, might I recommend checking out this playlist right here for some more replay analysis, or check out this video over here to see the worst predictions that have been made for the upcoming RLCS Winter Major.